Let me give you some examples of sibling conflict where I would or wouldn't step in, all the way from like baby and toddler situations up through like 5 and 7-year-olds. And these are all real situations that have either happened with my kids or with my clients. So number one, if my toddler snatched the toy out of the baby's hand, I would not jump in. I would first pause and observe and see what was going on before I did or said anything. My baby was in a bouncer, my toddler came over and was about to like bounce it. I would step in, right? That's a safety issue. Something that happened in my house when I had my second kid, and my toddler loved bouncing the bouncer so high that our newborn was about to like fly through the room. Definitely stepping in there. A 3-year-old is building a building with a magnet tile and the 1-year-old comes over and smashes it with their hand or their foot. I'm not going to step in right away. I'm going to be close. I'm going to watch. I'm going to see how they react and handle it, but I'm not going to jump in right away. 5-year-old and 3-year-old are sitting next to each other at the table and don't want each other's feet on their chair. And so they start bickering, screaming, "Don't put your feet on my chair. Keep your feet." They're kind of pushing each other's feet. They're kicking a little bit at each other. I'm not going to step in right away. I'm going to give them a minute to try and explain their boundaries, explain what they're desiring, and try and figure out that on their own. Preschool age kids are playing a game together and one of them is not listening to the instructions that the other one is giving. And so the one giving instructions yells, "You're being so stupid right now." I'm going to step in there. Okay, that's a value, that's a boundary in our house. We don't call people names like that. So I'm going to step in and I'm going to set that limit. Hey, you're frustrated. Let's figure out a different way to explain this. Let's figure out a different way to talk to our friend or our sibling here. 2 kids are wrestling around in the living room, having fun, chasing each other, playing. And one of them kind of tackles the other one. And the one that got tackled yells, "Stop, stop," and starts kind of crying a little bit. I'm jumping right in. Right? We are very serious about consent and boundaries in our house. And when somebody says stop, we say stop. So that's a limit that I'm going to help. And that's a conflict that I'm going to jump in to make sure is handled. 1-year-old and 3-year-old are fighting over the same soccer ball that they both want to play with. I'm not going to step in right away. Right? I'm going to let them kind of figure it out on their own, figure out how to navigate that conflict of both wanting the same ball until one of them starts kicking at the other one or hitting at the other one, and then it's getting dangerous physically. Then I'm going to step in and make sure that nobody's hurting each other. Okay, so are you seeing the patterns? A lot of times, as long as nobody is in direct danger, physically, emotionally, I'm going to give them a little space, even when they're little. And this is so huge. If you start this when your kids are little, if you have a toddler and a baby, and you can curb your natural instinct to jump in and fix it right away, or with your 3-year-old and your 5-year-old, jumping in to fix their argument the second their voices get a little bit loud, then you give them so much more space to start to learn how to handle conflict. Or you come in and you be close and you guide it without coming in and taking over and fixing it. These are just some examples, but in the Siblings Made Simple guide, Emma and I give you a literal scale of here's when you don't jump in, here's when you can jump in or get close, help a little, here's when you're needed right away. And we give you all these examples and teach you how to figure out what do I do in each scenario? How do I assess what's going on and decide, is it going to be helpful or harmful for me to get into this sibling conflict? Because when you learn how to take a step back when it's better for you to take a step back and intervene when it's better for you to intervene, then you start actually teaching your kids, whether they're toddlers or they're preteens or anywhere in between, how to handle the conflicts on their own. So you actually end up needing to step in less over time because they figure it out and they become closer, they become better at playing together, they become better at coexisting, and it makes your life so much easier.